During the summertime, my dad would go to our backyard and pick his tomatoes that he had been growing and giving lots of TLC to. And one of his favorite varieties was called Better Boy. And I'm not sure what he did to these tomatoes, but they were like juicy and sweet, and you could just slice one up and eat it alone. And one summer, I think I might have eaten maybe a week's worth of like tomato and mayonnaise sandwiches. They were that good. So today I want to make a heirloom tomato galette. And I made this during culinary school, and I decided to impress my family and make it for them, and they still talk about it to this day. So I can't wait for you to follow along and make this yummy tomato galette with me.
I start off by making the galette pastry. I put all the dry ingredients into the food processor to combine. I cube the butter, put that in the food processor to blend. You can certainly make this pastry by hand, but I find it a whole lot easier to use the food processor if you have one.
So you want to make a flaky pastry, you want the butter to be like a chickpea size, so about like, oops, like this size.
Next, you're going to add ice cold water and you're going to mix it together with your sour cream, and you're going to add it to your dry ingredients by slowly pouring it in and pulsing it. The dough will be ready when you can pick up the dough between your fingers and it comes together without crumbling. My little one Theo wanted to help me so badly, so he helped me put the dough together.
On the bottom of the pastry, I'm going to add a herb goat cheese spread, and I think that this will add some herby, kind of tangy flavor to the galette that's going to make it taste really good with the tomatoes.
I combined all the ingredients for the goat cheese spread and blended until smooth.
To my heirloom galette, I like to add an onion, and I'm partial to the Vidalia onion because that's where I grew up. So when you go to saute it, it's gonna be really sweet. I'm gonna caramelize it. I think it's gonna go really well with the tangy, herby goat cheese spread. I like to slice the tomatoes, and then I sprinkle some salt on top before I put it on the tart. It's gonna draw out some moisture from the tomatoes, and it's gonna make your tart not as soggy. So I have a really beautiful heirloom tomato. I'm gonna slice, pretty that is. And then I'm just gonna put it on a plate here and just sprinkle a little salt on top.
Next, I worked on our pastry. I lightly floured the surface, and then I rolled out the pastry to be about 14-inch round, and you want it about like an eighth of an inch thick. I rolled the pastry onto my rolling pin and then put it on our baking sheet. And now we get to assemble it.
First gonna put a thin layer of our herby goat cheese on the bottom. Next is gonna be the caramelized Vidalia onions. Just kind of sprinkle it, spread it over.
Next, I added the beautiful heirloom tomatoes onto our galette, and I sprinkled it with flaky sea salt. And then I folded up the edges. This can be very rustic. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I combined an egg and some water and did an egg wash on the pastry, and then sprinkled that with flaky sea salt. And now it's ready to be in the oven.
Looks really yummy. Crust is very flaky. That's really good. It's like the tomatoes are really sweet, along with the onions, and the goat cheese has a tanginess, so it balances all the flavors out. So I hope my family gets to try it, and I hope you guys try this recipe with your friends and family and create lots of memories.